Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we're going to Harashija today, and lightning seems to have struck twice. We have again a balanced freaking income, and I could not be more excited. Rang, what are the combatants bringing to the fray?
On left hand side in blue, we have ArturoDiaz playing 20 Panzer with a balanced income. On the right hand side in red, we have ElBowser playing 7th Mechanized with a Vanguard income.
I said to you there's going to be an ISU frenzy going on here. We definitely have the potential to see 3 of them over here from the Soviet side. And then I took a look over at the 5th Panzer, and I was like, that's a lot of Tigers. That's a lot of
Panthers. It's 5th Panzer. I said 20th, my bad.
You leave Rommel out of this. But there's a whole menagerie of just animals here, and I'm a little nervous to see how this is going to go for ArturoDiaz. I will say this map is a far better map though for the heavy tank play that we saw attempted over on Tuesday. You haven't seen that match just yet. You probably should go check it out. But what should we expect between these two? Between the 5th Panzer and the 7th Mechanized Corps.
Yeah, I think everyone's caught it. It's gonna be a tank fray, it seems like, as both sides has a lot of bloody tanks. More so 5th Panzer has more of the heavy tanks, while 7th is gonna be relying on those ISUs to really do work. But just looking how things are developing, I mean, it's mainly going on in the center here. You have a little bit of flamethrower play on both sides going on up north and down south, but the real meat grinder of this map is always slap bang in the middle.
It certainly is. Now, one thing that we haven't really talked about too often, because we don't see it very often, is the KV-1E, which is an OP tank, but it has legit firepower on it. A little bit risky to bring it in this early, but I do like the attempt to be so aggressive with it.
And the nice thing is that you can be aggressive with it because you do have a lot of armor, and still like the main gun for an OP tank, which is quite nice.
Well, it certainly puts the OP in OP.
Yeah.
Oh, it's taken out pack tracks galore, too. Now, with the addition of the Su-76s, we get tank with Desantniki, Strelkis, of course, and then, of course, we have the T-34 Komrotis and the 43s. I don't know. I'm getting the feeling here that Arturo needs to be careful because there's going to be an attempt to rupture the center pretty darn soon.
Yeah, we're seeing off-map being brought in from both sides here, which I feel like is just, it's just going to delay anything from both sides from really making any offensive maneuvers. Actually, I think ElBowser might be able to do its maneuver because the tank doesn't need to keep coming in. Are going to avoid it off-map, and then with the off-map hitting Arturo, everything's fallen back. This is going to be a perfect push.
It certainly has the potential to be. Now, the P4s, though, have the potential to also turn... Oh, wow. The tank with Desantniki are getting super lucky in terms of how they're getting through this. But a 250/9 here, this is really the only... Dude, he's right in front of you. How are you missing?
He's very stressed out. Like, oh god, all the artillery, and now a bunch of half-tracks, and then the 50 cals will be enough to suppress him up a bit, but this is a pretty good push here, the tankos. I'm very much liking his play here.
And that's totally fair. I'm just... There are moments I think the mod use is terrifying, but not quite.
Terrifying.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh god, the tank Desantniki, he's really going for home.
Exactly. Well, in the words of an officer and a gentleman, I think he's got nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
Like this half track right now is desperate to kill that OP. And
oh, it's so close, so close, but a really good push. He has managed to see that his tank Desantniki deep into enemy lines, which is nice. There's still some Panzer Grenadiers behind his own, and he is moving in his medium armor, but they're about to get hit by some rather nasty artillery, and just how bunched up they are. Only 1 or 2 shells is, yep, make him go kaboom.
Well, then the Suka over there, too. I'm surprised it hasn't been hit even a little bit harder still. Wait, does he have more than 1 OP? He does. He's got 3 OPs. I guess this is the last one for right now for Arturo.
Yeah.
At least for the next 5 or 6 minutes. I'm fascinated to see what happens as these P-Grants desperately are trying to cut off the Su-76s, and probably could.
Yeah, this is a really good. I mean, one of them does have the Panzerfaust, which is quite nice. But even then, I think he can just get an easy surrender.
That's one.
Yep.
And the other one gets taken out by a P4. Yeesh.
Yeah. Yeah, so central town fight has pretty much been back and forth. I mean, Arturo is now starting to push back, and the lines are just looking absolutely ridiculous, in all honesty.
Yeah, and he really had to do some kind of aggressive play, considering that he was down 15-9, and at this point his troops are actually cut off over here too.
Yeah.
So PE2, this is the right call. Got the concentration of armor to the north. Very, very good call there.
Yeah. That thing does have a lot of bombs, two 250s and four 100s, which is quite a bit of boom. Let's see how it does.
Oh, but, you know.
No, just completely misses the target, which is pretty anticlimactic, and with the Fokkerov coming in, I don't think he's going to miss the ground. No, no.
That was really weird.
My lovely pun run to race. I'm really quite sad now.
I thought he was going to get falked too, so I mean, like, he's coming back in? Dude, press the attack. You have a quad cannons. There you go.
Considering he made the pun, if he dies, I'm completely okay with it. Just let you guys know where our biases stand.
I'm pretty sure the people out there, the people's Soviet Union, had no doubt where you were on this one there, my friend. There we go.
There we go. And now it can finally hit the ground after missing the bombs.
Well, you know, flying is really about leaping at the ground and missing, except that eventually you have to hit it, so...
That's true.
But in any particular case, bad metaphors aside, we are seeing P4s and T-34s reenacting their own private version of a Kursk here, as they also start to pass each other by, being only a couple hundred meters apart. Which is really bizarre for me. Like, guys, there's so many right there.
Yep.
Thank you. That's
I'm starting to engage, and this is getting pretty bloody here, just all around. I do feel like Arturo is getting the better trade in this town, as I see he's knocking out T-34s, and he still has a good amount of panzers in here. While ElBowser, yeah, he's bringing in some reinforcements as well as some anti-air to be quite nice, but yeah, and also a Tiger from Arturo.
Absolutely, absolutely. Focke-Wulf still flying Cap. Opal Blitz moving in, of course, and realizing that the Struckies over there do have that PTRD, which in any other circumstance is completely worthless, but not so much there at the moment.
Yeah, against that light half-track play, it can actually do some pretty good damage.
Now, you'll notice, guys, we haven't looked a little bit too much at the north and the south. The north, there's a potential for a flame war. If really anything else, it's just a half-track engaging Ognamachiki. The real action continues to be over here in the center. Now, the regrettable thing, I think, for a lot of the Soviet equipment is that as good as the Su-76 might be at a point-and-shoot kind of situation, he's still outnumbered 2 or 3 to 1.
Yes, and he'd also, the Panzer IVs do have that veterancy bonus, which helps out quite a bit, and a turret, which is also useful in a town fight.
Very much so.
Yep, and now with the Tiger being brought in, that's really going to even out the playing field. Not even out, but overwhelm the playing field for Arturo here, because those T-34s and Su-76s are going to have a bad time. You're all seeing first, one of the Su-122s being brought in. It does have heat ammunition, and it is pretty scary heat ammunition, but it's not the most efficient heat ammunition.
And therein lies the rub, is that the 7th mech, while having a, reasonable amount of infantry and a absolute ridiculous amount of tanks, their anti-tank assets outside of the standard, MBTs, a little lackluster in rate of fire, damnably effective, but just slow.
Yeah, it is slow, and you don't get a whole lot of them. You really have to make him count. And they kind of fall under the King Tiger problem in a way, is that once you bring out those ISUs and, 122s, 152s, whatever use, they usually just end up becoming a very high priority target, and all manners of high explosive just start dropping on top of them, which is not ideal.
No, it rarely is. I mean, usually the point is to be on this side of the dirt nap, not the other.
Exactly.
6 feet above, not 6 feet below. Yes, sir?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But in the meantime, ZSU, which is actually kind of nice to see, mostly because I don't like to say I have a soft spot per se. Oof, as Vedka takes out a P4. I always enjoy seeing the anti-air equipment being used for, what God intended it for being used for, i.e. killing everything that's on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of anti-air, right? I mean, the Rubberwind is one of the most efficient anti-tank weapons in game, in my book.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Give me a quad-mounted flak Veerling on the any day. I'll take
yeah,
that.
yeah.
ME410 going for a head-to-head over here. It should be able. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that thing has like two 30 mils and four 20 mils. He's fine in any head-on fight.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty crazy how aircraft armament did develop from the early war, where it's just, like two machine guns, maybe a cannon, to planes like that, where you have just a ridiculous amount of firepower, even though it is a strafing plane, to be fair, not directly fighter, but even with the Focke-Wulf, it is crazy on just how it developed so quickly. Just everything just needs much more DACA.
Oh, absolutely. And the whole kind of idea of becoming multi-purpose, kind of ground to air, air to air. Like it's one of those things that military aviation actually, from the 40s up into about the 60s, is extremely cool.
Yeah, it
As
is
moving
pretty neat.
cannon fights to missiles, to, out of line of sight. It's really, really interesting to me.
Yeah, it was a huge developments really happened from like the rotary craft to jet aircraft, and yeah, early anti-aircraft missile development. Like, there's a lot that went on in just the 50s alone. But anyway, just getting back to this match, I mean, we got a T-34 blob being brought in. I think this is going to be ElBowser's attempt to try and push back his force.
There's still a Tiger there, though. And while the
Yeah.
Tiger is giving ground and getting a little bit of space so we can kind of use that cannon to, greatest effect, I would not want to be anywhere near the same zip code as that thing.
And also the Panzer Grenadiers in a lovely defensive position lined up here. So it's just really going to deter, as you're seeing, ElBowser from getting too close, because he doesn't want a Panzerfaust going into the front of any of his tanks.
No, kind of doesn't seem like a great idea for that one.
Nope.
I'm sure he's worried about some Italian Five Vilica coming out and being like, "It's me, Mario," and just really, I was thinking Bowser. Wow, I actually didn't realize that just now.
I just didn't think about it. Oh, I didn't even make that connection till now. But there we go.
But Five Vilica aside, we are seeing the T-34s realize that they don't really want to be in this town fight so long as there's a Tiger there.
The KV-1, however.
What's that?
The KV-1, however, is all in.
Yeah, exactly. Which I'm not really sure I'd be quite as full of such gusto, but whatever.
Yeah, he can pick his own battles, but he's probably ain't going to be picking any more.
Nope.
Yeah.
Now, the one actually I kind of feel bad for is this SU-122, because if that thing is dead, nothing else matters.
Yeah, the T-34s can't really kill the Tiger efficiently, and it's just coming down to good tank micro. And it is harder to use the SU-122 in this sort of fight because you don't have a turret. It's going to be a little bit longer to aim on, and in town fights that makes a huge difference.
It absolutely does. And some aircraft just died. I wasn't really paying attention to which one, because I was watching as this Tiger kind of begins to reset himself as the tank blob continues to chase.
Yeah, well, ElBowser is actually making really good momentum now. He's planning to pin down and deal with a lot of those Panzer Grenadiers in defensive positions. He's rushing in a bunch of infantry, and this is Radevka in a truck could potentially just rush up and zook that Tiger here.
No, this is a moving ambush. There's 3 martyrs coming in.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. There's quite a few martyrs here. I think it's Radevka. I think it's Radevka's going to get the bazooka kill, just looking at how he's moving.
Well, the Tiger is slowly moving back, but I think you might be right here. Yikes. Transmission damage, that was the worst time for that to happen. There's also Pack 36 is being rushed to the fore, P-Grant's being rushed to the fore. Yeah, as devastating as it could be to kind of plink that thing to death, I think there's just enough equipment there to keep it alive.
Yeah. There we go. Zook hits, but does not get the kill.
And there we go. Now they're caught in the open. So, ooh. I stand corrected. Zook comes out, Zook kills. But more Tigers can still be brought in.
It is true, there's a lot of heavy armor from 5th Panzer. But the main thing is that ElBowser, he is really committing to his push. He's rushing a whole bunch of infantry, a bunch of Su-76Is as well. Like, he has good momentum. I don't know how Rory's Martyrs are really going to do to hold this off, and the Martyrs are just dead.
Well, I suppose that's what happens when you don't really have any kind of legitimate protection.
Yeah. And you need protection, trust me.
Exactly. You'd rather have protection and not use it than need protection and not have it.
Yeah. Especially when artillery is dropping around you. It probably wasn't fun being a German tank destroyer unit and an open-top tank destroyer. When airplanes are flying about, and artillery
tanks
shells.
too, of course.
And tanks, yeah. You see hands in your tank destroyer, just don't get hit. Just don't let the Sherman shoot you. Run away before you get shot. It's simple as.
That's true, because if you get hit, it's like you're wearing nothing at all. Mark, firing not quite on the move, but he's trying to engage those T-34s from range, and I don't know that this is going to continue to be really that great for him. He's picking up 1 kill.
Yeah.
Potential pick up a second. Skitoosh. Ooh. Tank destroyers, though, like those guys, the snipers of the battlefield.
Yeah, and hopefully the new rings balance update, when that comes out, will definitely make him more efficient, as they should, like, in that scenario, T-34 shouldn't be able to shoot at him over that 2-kilometer distance. Down south, or south and central position, ElBowser is pushing through the stroke of DPs, and that's going to be capturing that farmstead easy peasy, like. And oh my god, it's like 1860. This is completely turned to ElBowser's favor in just a few minutes.
Well, and that's the thing, isn't it? Is that still, as great as the 5th Panther might be in terms of heavy tank, they're always going to lose out in terms of numbers. The numbers game will always go against them.
Yes. And that's always a difficulty when playing with them, because it was really that entire position, for the most part, was just being held by that one Tiger. When the Tiger got Zooks, everything just kind of went very bad for Arturo from then on out. It was very good for ElBowser.
True. Very true. Just watching as this 250 Mark 9 is trying to get behind this T-34-76. Not sure I really understand that particular decision, my friend.
When I get that autocannon kill, but T-34 is going to be...
Yeah.
It didn't position that correctly, really. We got some off-map being dropped in, but I don't think it's really going to do too much. ElBowser has pretty much full control over that town now. I mean, Arturo can snipe at range of the Tiger, which is nice and all, but not going to get you back in the town.
No, but I think if he's just annoying enough, he might convince the people that he won. I don't know. I'm not feeling it, though.
Yeah. This really does not feel good for Arturo from here on out. And he does have that balanced income, so C-Phase is only getting that nice bonus, but at its rate, it's not really going to matter.
No. Just trying to check out, I'm trying to think about infantry fights so far. And the amount of troops he should have left. And I might be wrong. I think the infantry's probably getting a little bit scanty over here into Phase B. He does have that one card of peak events that we're starting to see more and more often from balanced incomes. Heck, even from Vanguard incomes.
Yeah, he still has the classic trump card of 27 Panzer Grenadiers in C phase, which is always
gonna get zooked.
Oh god.
Okay, no, he missed.
He lived. His armor saved him, or something saved him.
Oof.
That was a really dangerous run, but it was quite funny seeing the Focke-Wulf get the kill.
Yeah, it's always a little weird to see the lighter caliber weapons actually be effective. You and I were talking about, I don't remember if it's this cast or the one previous. No, it's this one. Jeez, I'm getting old. About the development of the air weapons overall with this. So I kind of would have expected the quad 20s to do something about that, but apparently quite incorrect.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the ZSU was only... It doesn't have much armor, and it is also open top, so getting strafed by airplanes is not an ideal situation.
I will say to you, and this is something that has bothered me for years, and I need to get this off my chest.
Okay.
It bothers me in Saving Private Ryan when it calls out there's Tiger tanks, 2 of them, Panther tanks, 2 of them.
Yes.
Ignoring the fact, first of all, that we're just basically talking about a reskin T-34. I have an issue because there's no Panther. There are assault guns, and even then, it's actually I do think they bring in a Martyr 2 or a Martyr 3. There's
Yeah,
no
or
Panther
something
tank.
like that. It was like a Marder, and then it was a Tiger. To be fair, for historical accuracy or whatnot, I think there's a historical accuracy part of that, because you could also argue, yeah, or not historical accuracy, there's an argument nonetheless, yeah, you know, ground soldiers back then probably called out tanks wrong all the time. Like, there's a lot of
Oh, yeah.
instances of, hey, it's a Tiger tank, it's just a Panzer IV in hindsight, but I can just imagine them just saying whatever, and, the tank's a tank for an infantry guy, to be fair. It doesn't matter too much what type it is. But yeah, it's kind of silly. I do
Yeah.
agree with you.
And just, again, not to take away from that war scene, because, dear God, is one of the most compelling things I think I've ever watched in my life. But, that has bothered me for years. Anyway. As you see in the meantime...
Yeah.
Sorry, sir?
No, at any rate, it's not looking good for Arturo no matter what. He can bring all the MG42s he can muster, but... I mean, ElBowser just really did a lovely job of that push, and just pretty much decapitated Arturo's chances of winning this match.
Which is weird, because I always feel like the Su-76Is, those infantry tanks never seem to me to get a ton of play, and then they magically show up and they're delicious. It's fantastic. They do a really, really great job.
Yeah, they just held out and holding this town. They've just... I think it's really just infantry play more of ElBowser. He would, like, push up, rush infantry, and get into good position, which secured him. Position in the town, and there we go. And he needed that because he was playing Vanguard. If that match went on longer, it would not have gone well for him, but pretty close, very close in kills.
And thankfully, we have ElBowser has the appropriate avatar as well. So
very good.
Kill-wise, a couple of very, very poignant kills by Razvedka troops. Killing a couple of Martyrs here, P4 there. Really, really solid play overall in terms of infantry. If I could go and nitpick over on ArturoDiaz's side, I mean, I think you said it best already. You've got to be able to preserve those tanks, and then at the same time, be a little more combined arms. I mean, I realize I'm not saying exactly what you had said, but the combined arms approach, I think, was a little bit lacking from Arturo's.
More to half tracks. Sorry, I have a bad cough.
Thank you. You know what? I would say go see a doctor, but I think that's a kind of a cold that we need a little bit more of.
We're not going to stop. We're not going to stop buggering about using mortars and mortar half tracks, especially if you're playing at Panzer Division. I understand, like, the whole current meta is usually just using off map, but just one card of mortar half tracks, I think, in a Panzer deck can make a huge difference in town fights. And we're usually not doing a good job in a town fight, really.
It's a utility thing. Drop smoke.
Like, you can do a lot with... I've been watching a lot of Wargame casts recently, and casting them on my channel. And the one thing I notice a lot in the Wargame is how people use smoke in it. Like, it is night and day. Like, I use it for everything and all the time. The smoke mechanics are a little bit different, as it's a little bit easier to deploy smoke with 1970s and 80s technology. Smoke things, it's a bit faster. But I feel like if there's one thing, players and SD can really benefit from in general, especially the high tier, is really abusing the hell out of smoke. Because you can do so much with it.
I mean, out in the real world, outside of SD, of course, smoking kills, but in SD, smoking saves lives.
Yeah.
So.
And kills your enemies, hopefully.
Exactly, especially that mustard smoke.
Yeah. Spicy smoke.
Before we start, tap dancing into any kind of war crime comments, any final thoughts about this match, sir?
Nope.
Okay, well, folks, in that case, then, that's going to go and conclude our SD2 League coverage for this week. Until next time, I'm Conor.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.